Okay, so can you tell us what your name is and how old you are?
Okay, my birth name is Antina Meyer, but I'm better known and I identify as a transgender female. So I'm better known as Beyonce. I'm 37, will be 38 on 12 November. So yeah.
Okay, and tell us how you ended up here in Sea Point.
I initially I ended up on the street in 2012. And that was because of a stupid decision. I was quite naive and even believing that I had to be on the street to please my partner that I was with at the time. Unfortunately, the relationship has dissolved, thank God. But yeah, so I ended up in the streets right now. I find myself here. In February, it was 2 years since being on the streets. Because I spent 2 years at home after I lost my mother in 2020 on the 6th of April, which is this coming Saturday. So it's a bit hectic for me. And then I never had much time to mourn her death, as I had to fill up her shoes in order to be there for my father, who didn't deal with it quite well because my mom died. The the date was significant because the date marked their 51 years together as a couple, and she died 2 weeks shy of their 45th wedding anniversary. So yeah, and after that, my father developed dementia and things. Eventually, was completely in a baby state. So he passed on the following year.
Okay.
And then, but I had a lot of stress because we had this sibling rivalry. It's only myself and my sister. We 11 years apart. She is 48. It will be 49 on 16 October. And you know what the irony is about our birthdays is it's August, September, October, November. My dad, my mom, my sister, and myself.
Yes.
And we had a fallout, and then the house was being rented out, and then I was told that my sister doesn't want me on the property, and that I should evacuate myself.
Your sister told you that?
Now, I was told by the tenants of the house because initially we have the house and we had the garage. So people that's now in the house was the people that was engaging the space of the garage. And then they told me that my sister said she doesn't want me on the property and everything due to a fire which was ignited, which I don't understand how it happened, but anyway.
Was she blaming you for the fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then later on, like I think like almost 2 years thereafter, last March, when after believing for 3 months that my sister died in a car accident on 16 December 2022, my sister pitched up in the Bantry Bay mountains.
That's where you were staying?
That's where I am.
Yes.
I was just visiting. I passed by and I saw Sean and Paul yesterday.
So you actually live in the mountains there,
I'm all the way down.
It's very steep cliffs there. I always see people. It looks quite dangerous.
The rocks as well, and
Scary.
then it is quite scary. At first, I still get very shaky when I'm going down because it is quite steep.
I always feel nervous for you guys
I
going
find
down.
myself between Victoria and Kloof Road. So
Yes.
yeah, then I heard someone shouting, and it's very, very, very few people who knows my government. I told it my government's name because it's my birth name.
Yes.
And this person was shouting my name, and when I got up, I'm visually impaired. I wear specs.
Okay.
So when I looked, I couldn't really, but I saw it's a big body, and she's quite fat. It's in our family. And then when I told my friend Amanda, but I think that's my sister, but isn't she dead? And then I went up, and all I could do was just burst out crying because I was told that he died in a car accident on the scene on 16th December, and yeah, in March, you're standing in front of me like, who's playing the fool now? Am I going delusional because of some drug substance, or am I really seeing you? And it's like, whoa, because it was even posted on my Facebook, I beat my deepest condolences, and my sister rest in peace and things, and that's how far the people went. But furthermore, we've made peace and everything. She's currently busy with the people getting them out of the house.
So she didn't die?
She'd never even been in a car accident.
Okay, so where did the misunderstanding come from?
It was, I don't know whether it was a hoax or a prank or a joke, some sick joke that actually quite a close family friend had played on me. And I don't find anything funny about it because I already lost my mother and father. No matter the relationship between myself and my sister, she's literally all I have, and her kids.
Okay, so then she ended up there in Bantry Bay.
She
Did she
reached
come and
out.
how did she know you were there?
She actually initially came here
Hmm.
because someone had told them that I was arrested, and the previous weekend when they were looking for me, I was arrested, but they didn't know where the police station was. They came here to look for me, and they went all the way down and everything. But I couldn't understand because the descriptions that the people gave me of the guy and the female that was looking for me, it rang a bell that because they were describing my sister and her husband, but to me, my sister was dead. And then this one friend of mine described the car, the driver, the passenger, as well as the three kids, because she's got two boys and a girl. And that's when I think my heart stood still for like 10 seconds. And, but I did not, you know, like really grasp onto it until I saw her in front of me. And so yeah, it's quite hectic for
What
me.
what was your sister looking for? Did she just try to reconnect with you, or why
Yes.
why did she come back into your
She
life?
actually came because she wanted to apologize for what had happened between us. But initially, she blamed me for. She told me that I had killed my mother,
Uh,
and she was very distant when it came to my father's well-being and everything. And when just before he had it, the day that he had his last stroke, was initially on his way to her, and my father literally ran away because I would tell him, Daddy, don't go anywhere. When I'm at home, I wouldn't let my father walk around because I know he's he was mentally incapacitated. Couldn't make decisions for himself, eat nothing. And then I went to one of there's this lady that stays in the area and she distributes food on a Wednesday. So I would go every Wednesday, I would make sure that I'm in time and stuff, just to get food so that I know my father can eat. Up until my mother died, I did not know what life was. I, I say now, I reached my adulthood the day my mother closed her eyes because I did not know responsibility until I had to take responsibility for another being.
for your dad, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and it wasn't easy because when he had his final stroke, when he came back, he was on a kimby, he couldn't speak, but eventually I figured out that my father would make like these screeching sounds, but each sound meant something. And as time went on, I figured the one sound would mean he's hungry, other one would mean that he's wet, or he's thirsty, like
So
that.
like you were looking after a baby then.
Yes, because he
Yeah.
couldn't even speak.
Oh,
And my father is big built, so someone in that their whole body is relaxed and the weight of a big bone person.
yeah.
But I did it alone, and I told myself there was a point where I felt I can't do this. I was trying so hard to not fail. That people said you're pushing yourself to a point of exhaustion.
How old were you at that stage?
This is like 3 years ago. I was
Okay, so quite
34.
recently, yes. Okay.
So then, because I was myself and my father never had a relationship because of my sexual preference.
Okay. What was their opinion about your
My
sexual?
mother loved the shit. Sorry, my mother loved the hell out of me. And the day when I came out, my mother said, you know what? I was just waiting for you to say so.
The women usually know, right?
My
Yeah.
dad was. I come from a very. I was born and bred in the Cape Flats Mitchell's Plain.
Just been.
So all I can tell you is my dad had a very Cape Flats reaction to it.
What is the Cape Flash reaction to that?
Very, very hostile. And initially, the first time when I told my dad that I am what I am, although I'd never lived in lived in a closet or anything. No, I lived my life the way I wanted to all the time. And he was but first time I told him, I ended up in hospital with broken nose and cracked collarbone because he couldn't, I'm the only boy.
Wait, so did your dad attack you then?
Yes, he beat the shit out of me into hospital. He beat me to hospital.
After you told him
Yes.
that was his reaction.
Yeah. And
What do you think about that reaction?
I had forgiven him and stuff because I also realized it took me a while though. But I, when I was recollecting with myself and self mediation,
Yeah.
his upbringing
Mm.
and the power, those positive figures, and my grandfather died when my father was very young. My grandfather was in the army, so he died in service, and my grandparents from my father's side, they weren't married. My father was exposed to alcohol from the age of 12. By the time he was 15 years old, my father had the liver of a 60-year-old
Oh
drinker.
wow. Okay. That might
So,
have contributed to the dementia,
yeah,
right?
and he comes from the abusive background.
Yeah.
He's from Alpha 7, the Blow Ducker, as it's known. It's very, very, very this gang orientated around there.
Yeah.
His one brother ended up being a gangster, and his other one ended up working on a grape farm. He is currently passed on. I don't know whether my dad's other brother is still alive, nor do I know whether his sister's alive.
Okay.
I never even met my grandmother, but maternally I met my grandmother, and I was actually quite blessed to have two grandmothers and two grandfathers on my mother's side, because her parents divorced when she was 5 years old and they remarried and stuff. So
Yeah.
I come from quite a Michael Jackson dysfunctional family. So yeah,
Okay, and then there was quite a lot of rejection because of your sexual
only from my dad,
orientation,
but my
right? Only
mom
from
was very supportive,
yeah.
as well as my sister at the time because I could
Okay.
do her hair for her. So
So
yeah,
she could benefit. And
yeah.
what do how do the people around here treat you? You know,
Around here,
yes, around here.
you know, they've initially never ever been hard or nasty towards me. It's just that I was very, it's like when being transgender initially, you build a wall around yourself with protection because you don't want to get hurt because you know what life is like, especially with stigma and everything. So it's like I wasn't allowing anybody in order, like many of the people that I would call friends now are not acquaintance anymore because I do differentiate between the two. I would say that it's people that I never ever gave the time of day to actually communicate and socialize with because I was so afraid of being hurt. Because there's a saying that goes, "This is not Cape Town, this is Sea Point." So
What's the difference?
I don't, up until today, I really don't know. I don't actually really want to know, but I know there's a pure white Jewish community, but
It is a
that
very
statement
white
is
word.
that statement is quite But other than that, I've learned a lot. I
What have you
have learned.
learned?
I've learned a lot that initially I was very snobbish. If someone would ask me for something to eat, I'd rather dump it in the bin
Is that
instead of
before you
giving it.
became
Yes,
homeless?
before I was
Okay.
homeless. And I always thought that my situation was so bad. But I've come to learn that there are people going through much worse situations
Yeah.
and going through more hectic things. And up until today, besides the many things which I have experienced in sequence, like the sexual abuse, I've been raped as well in
Has there
Camps
been
Bay.
sexual abuse here?
Yeah, by the partner that the dysfunctional one that I spoke about in the beginning,
Yeah.
yeah, he's actually back around and he refuses to acknowledge that there is no more us and there never will be. Because I was so naive, I believed that if he's not gonna hit me, he doesn't love me. So but I would try my best to avoid being beaten because I just knew that I was going to be hit anyway, no matter what I did,
You were going to be?
beaten up, no
Okay, so he
matter
was
what I
quite
did.
abusive then, physically
Yes,
abusive.
and he would like chase me away, tell me to take myself and go, and I would say no, but I love you too much. And he would like literally stand with a blade knife, with those
God.
two points in the front, and I'm like, take off your eyes if you don't leave now.
God.
And then I would go, and then when I would leave eventually, he came after me and he stabbed me twice with a rusted screwdriver, telling me, oh, so you prepared to leave me. But you didn't just threaten me with my life.
So he stabbed you.
Right.
Do you mind just speaking a little bit louder so
Oh,
I can?
sorry.
Sorry, no
Yeah,
problem.
he stabbed me 3 times with a rusted screwdriver.
Okay.
He was
What?
obsessively jealous and he did not I couldn't have friends or anything. At the time I was a shoplifter. And the only life that I had was coming out on Mondays and Fridays and sometimes Wednesdays when I would go into the shops and go and steal for a living
Mm.
because that's all I could do. For the rest of the time I would be locked up in pajamas in a dark room with candles, whatever, in the building by Somerset. I don't know whether you know where it is.
Oh, that that
It's
abandoned building where
yes,
also a lot
I
of people
stayed
living there.
there.
Oh, you stayed there.
And it was to the point where each and every guy, those foreign guys there, he believed that they had slept with me.
Oh, okay.
And it got to the point where I didn't want to sleep with him or be intimate with him, but I just did it because I knew if I'm not going to, he's going to try to accuse me of something. So I'd rather just let him feel that it is still the same way he left it. And that's one of the most horrible feelings. And besides that, being raped and not being helped by the cops. That was the worst.
So how is it that you got raped?
That was in Camps Bay.
Mm.
I was walking one night and I found myself on the street quite late that evening. That was 2022 in March.
Mm.
And when I had left from a friend, because they were drinking, and I do drink, but very passively. I would drink maybe 2 or 3 ciders. That's the maximum for me because I get drunk very quick
Okay.
and it's very rude. So yeah, then
Okay.
they were getting aggressive, they were fighting and stuff. So I had left.
Yeah.
And I walked back to Seapoint, but I took the main Victoria.
Yeah.
And then on the way, I heard someone say, "Hi, Beyonce." Now there was a time in my life when anybody that said Beyonce, I knew it was someone from prison because that's literally where I got the name.
From where?
Prison.
Okay. Oh, so you were in prison before?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but now I have to look because I don't know whether it's family, whether it's some prison acquaintance, because
Yeah.
even the family members that I do communicate with, even they refer to me as that. And then
Okay.
the guy came and I recognized him, but I mean, when he came around the front of me, and the black guy that was walking, when he came around the back of me and he held my head with a gun
How did they know you?
from prison.
From prison. Okay.
And the colored guy was actually the one that told me in prison because I refused to be with him in prison. He wanted me to be like his trophy or whatever. And then he always told me, if I get you outside, you're going to be sorry.
Oh.
And he proved it to me. But yeah, so in my unconscious state, they both had like me and everything. And okay, this doesn't sound crazy, but luckily
Like
me,
in public
they
or what? Just kind of on
in
the
the
street.
in the bush area there.
Okay. Both of them then. Yes. And then you told the police about this or what?
And they told me it's my own fault, so there's nothing they can do because I authored as I chose to be what I am.
That's what the police told you.
Yeah.
What? This police here in Sea Point or?
Mhm.
Oh, God, okay. And what happened after that then?
Then I went to Gender Dynamics. One of the gay organizations.
Okay.
They have this React program, which project that they're running. Whereas if you have any complaints or charges which you want to lay against SAP, securities, law enforcement, whoever, you can go to them and they will assist you.
Yeah.
And I promise you they do help, especially with law enforcement in particularly, specifically. It's like they focused on the trans community. Everything they do, they can deal with everybody, but when it comes to transgenders and the LGBTQI plus community, that they are so aggressive, they will beat us for absolutely no reason. They are in no way assisting us. They're supposed to be the ones that make us feel safe when they are actually just making us not know where to go to. Even the cops,
Okay. Yeah, so there's not much support.
Yeah,
Um,
because even I tell you, there hasn't been much sensitization programs offered amongst these, like the SAP and law enforcement,
Yeah.
because if it had been that way, I mean, how long has homosexuality been part of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in South Africa? But still,
Yeah.
we are not acknowledged.
Okay. And why did you end up in jail?
Because of my shoplifting
Okay.
and everything, and also my excessive drug substance abuse,
Okay.
which I was doing at the time. My substance of choice was tip and Mandex. I used to occasionally do cocaine as well.
Okay.
And it was like numbing my pain because I always had a deep longing, and I never done. This is the first time I'm going to be saying this, but I always had a deep longing for a father figure. Like I would envy my friends. Like I had many friends whose parents were divorced, and they had this perfect lives with their stepdaddies, and I'm living with my biological dad. Why can't my life be that way? And eventually I developed manic depression. I suffer from bipolar type 2 disorder, which makes me crazy. But anyway, yeah, but one thing I am grateful to my parents, especially my dad, is for the fact that he initially forced me to study something before I could study what I wanted to. My passion is fashion designing. Luckily, I've got a graduate diploma in fashion design and dress.
So you have the degree or diploma?
The diploma.
Ah.
But I first had to study something to fall back on in the event that I don't make it. So I've also got a degree in industrial psychology and social anthropology, which is the study of human behavior and social society.
Did you finish that degree?
Yes, I got my degree at UWC.
Really?
Yes, and in my third year of the degree,
Yeah.
I started doing my diploma part
in the
time.
fashion.
And when I had graduated
Oh
my
wow.
second year for my graduate diploma in fashion designing and dressmaking, I got doing it full time.
What? And when was that you finished all of those degrees?
I matriculated 2006, started studying 2007.
Yeah.
I graduated 2010 and again in 2012.
Wow. Okay, so how can people help you if they wanted to? What can they do?
I don't want to be very specific, but any donations, because like literally I can't believe I'm saying this on social media, but I don't care because I'm reaching out to myself. What you see on me is like literally all I have. Okay, besides the top, I bought it just from someone this morning because I was really getting cold. I've only got this overall and this.
Where did you get the
short.
top from? The hoodie?
It's a friend of mine. Okay, actually, it's been more than a friend, but anyway. So he took off this top. He had
Okay.
like a vest on underneath, and it was quite very misty and
Yeah, it was
cold this
misty,
morning. So he offered me this, and
Yeah.
like any clothing donations, and if
What about work-wise? Can they not? Can people not give you?
I'm so desperate. I would do anything, but it would be my dream come true if I could like even in a factory or a CMT, which is
Yes,
like
cut manufacture. Yes, yes. So you can still sew, right?
I can, yes, and whoever hires me, they just should not have domestic machines because the very first time I sat in a sewing machine, it was industrial.
You need industrial.
It was a Toyota machine, so
Okay.
it's very fast.
Yeah.
And I've become
Yeah.
very agitated at these domestic machines because they run quite slow.
Okay.
And yeah, anything that anybody could, even if it's just a cleaning job, but preferably, even if I just have to sew cuffs or something, as long as I can just be in my profession of
Okay.
choice.
Which is fashion still, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's no dependencies or anything now?
I don't have any kids or anything. I've lost many job opportunities. Like on Saturday, another job opportunity slipped through my fingers. So if
What job was that?
It was a sleep-in job, but I had to be in a orange grove in town. Then I made a way to get there, and then they were like, "You have phone."
So it's hard without a phone. Okay.
Yeah, there we go with that part. And then I don't even care, even if it's still even if it's a phone that's a green and black screen, it doesn't have to be smart because I'm smart on my own. But I appreciate anything, and really, what I would really appreciate is if I could be assisted with my ID.
Oh, you need an ID. You also don't. So is that they always steal that? It seems like, right?
Now I initially lost my ID in the fire which happened at my house, which I lost my papers, even my certificate from varsity and stuff. And when I did research on it through the another gay organization, Gender Dynamic, so it's 510 rand for your papers.
Yes.
But you need to pay a fee of 180 rand, but you have to submit your ID with it as well. Just so you can have your degree papers and stuff. I mean, getting my matric certificate is very easy. I can just get it from the school that I attended. And the graduate diploma is, my father is. Right. The lady, Mrs. Parker, the principal, she was good friends with my father because my father worked at orthopedics in Weinberg, in Broadwood. My father would take off your rear leg and he would make you a false leg to put back on and a pair of shoes to go with it. So yeah, then I can getting my papers from for the fashion is also easy, but UWC, my lord, just the first word university makes my heart beat fast. But I'm very glad because it also taught me how to look at life and deal with people in ways that they themselves aren't even familiar with. Because many of us around here, especially us on the street, we've got along, but we don't feel comfortable speaking about it all the time. And many of them, what I've come to learn, and from personal experience where they've spoken to me, they say it's like they feel a void, they feel there is a loss inside. And I constantly judge everyone on the street has a desire to go home. The only thing that makes me sad about it is they always say, I want to go to my family. And for me, at this point, I feel like I don't have family because
Okay. And what would you like people to know about living on the streets? Any last words?
living on the street, you know what, I've come to meet on the street people that I would have expected to be sitting in the offices of these hotels and stuff. The people on the street, we aren't the way what we most of them make it out
Well,
to be.
yeah, not you aren't
Yeah.
because you have a degree and a diploma.
Exactly,
I
they
mean,
look
people
at us
wouldn't know
to
that.
be
Yeah.
nothing because we are homeless and stuff. They just, once I went and I rang a bell and I asked for something to eat, and instead of giving me something to eat, or telling me to just eat off or swear at me, the guy it actually just he spat in my face.
Yeah.
It was in Balwood Avenue. I was so shocked that when I walked away, I actually walked away crying because that was when I realized what these people really think of us.
Mm.
And okay, not all of them are the same. And as the saying goes, the Jews are very stingy, but they are the very nice ones and
Okay.
stuff. And but other than that, we aren't animals, and we also have feelings. So the way they treat us when they look at like greeting, I also understand where they come from when you are greeting like the tourists and stuff. They are briefed when they come into our country. Do not
Be cautious.
communicate with the locals.
Yeah. Be very
And
cautious.
it hurts because what makes us different from them? Talk about our bank balance is different because I don't even have a bank account and they've got big ones.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it more a person or anything. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So you want
And-
equality and respect then?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I want to be treated as an equal citizen of South Africa.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I need to be in a house with I don't know how many floors and tiles that's flown in from where. I wear dirty clothes because I sleep on the street. I'm homeless. And it doesn't mean that I am what you see. Because you know how many of these people that looks like they were born out of an alcohol bottle has degrees. There's one, like a friend of ours, Cheryl. She speaks all 11 languages of our country.
Wow.
She's got a degree in mathematical science.
Oh, what?
She
You should
studied at
introduce me.
UCT.
You should introduce her to us. Where
I
is she?
actually don't know where she disappeared to during the course of the night.
Okay.
But she would be.
But she's also around here.
Yeah, she's actually moved from here to town, and then she came back yesterday. She just told us obviously, I'm going to sleep in Sequin, and then she bumped into me and everything, and she was hopping around like a grasshopper. But
So you guys
she's-
are all friends. You all know each other.
yeah, we all know each other. But you know what? Now, Oma and Uncle Sean, the two of them,
Yes,
I
these
call that
two.
one Oma.
Hmm.
The like maternal, just that maternal feel when you're around her. She's so soft and everything. And her partner, oh God, he's like a grizzly bear. He's like a real father. He's like, no. And if he says no, if he says something, it comes so thunderously, you're going to understand, okay, it's no, don't bother asking again.
Okay.
And
Okay.
which is what I never had in my eye, the
Yes.
lack of it. So
Okay.
yeah, don't look at those people that's homeless as evil. Not all of us are evil. I'm not evil. I'm a lover, not a fighter, unless I'm pushed to the point. So
Yeah.
we
Okay.
are.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
I
And
really
all
do
of the best to
appreciate
you.
you guys taking your time out.
Yes. Thank you for taking your time. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We didn't have much to do anyway. Thank you.
Thanks so much.